Hi, my name is Astein for Phytec Messtechnik. I'm Head of Product Management, and today at Embedded World 2024 we're introducing our new standard FPSC. It stands for Future Proof Solder Core. So what we do is we have defined a new standard for solderable system on modules. So you can see right here, these are the junctions for soldering on the system on module. The advantage of our standard is it's optimized in size and, right here. Yeah. It's optimized in size. We have 3 different sizes that we can scale our system on modules for this feature set that we've defined. We have a great advantage when it comes to rugged connections between the 2 boards using these interlocking junctions that bring extra strength when soldering the system on module onto a carrier board. We've also defined different areas of functionality. So we have the inner circle, which consists of the must-have features. You can see them right here. This is a big list. So what we do is we guarantee that these features for this feature set are always there for any processor that we support with this feature set. Then we have the preferred circle, that's the next circle, and those features are there at that position if the processor will bring these features. And we have proprietary signals on the outside, right here, and these signals are just very special to each certain processor. So if you're not interested in standardization, you can just use our system on module as it is, with all features that the processor will provide without any compromise. But if you want to stay with the standard, you will stick with the inner 2 circles and support those. We've also done a special pinout footprint layout that helps optimize the carrier board layout. So we are able to bring out all signals of the system on module using only 6 layers on the carrier board. And we don't need lasered vias, we can use drilled vias, and there's no vias in pad or anything. So it's a very easy job to lay out because of the position of the pins. And the advantage is that you can save a lot of money, up to 70% for the carrier board PCB, because you can go with cheap technology on the carrier board. In addition to that, we use fused tin grid arrays for the balls instead of LGA, and this helps to compensate coplanar deviation of the PCBs. When you do a board-to-board connection, the PCBs tend to bend away from each other, and then you need a lot of solder in between the PCBs to compensate that bending. And we have very high yield in production and good solder joints through this technology.
It's amazing you can do everything with pins, right? It's these little dots, they just do everything you need?
Yeah, so they bring out all the signals of the processor. As I just said, the inner circle is must-have signals. The next circle is preferred circles. Features will be there if they're supported by the processor. And the outer circle will enable proprietary signals of the processor.
Is it possible to easily solder on? That's the standard, people, how they do it, right?
Yeah, so it's quite easy to solder on. We've had 12 years of experience in doing soldering modules, and so we've been continuously optimizing our technology. Soldering is very easy. We make sure that our footprint is always even, so we make sure that our footprint is symmetrical, and that ensures that the module during the soldering process is not going into any certain direction, and makes the soldering process very, very easy and very stable and reliable.
And you need to make sure you don't put it in the wrong way when you solder it in, right?
Yeah, right. But we have a mark right here, and we have also fiducial marks right here that point right there. That's a fiducial mark, so the machine can inspect from top and from bottom which direction the module needs to be put. So
what's in the corners there, this and this?
but here the corners, these corners, those are our interlocking junctions. They are used to do additional, to create additional connection area to the carrier board, and therefore stabilize the solder connection. And the advantage is that we can, we've been doing vibration tests with these modules, and we can withstand any requirements from military, avionic, and also medical. For example, drop tests from 1 meter is no problem for this type of connection.
And it will last for decades?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
There's no dissolving of the connection quality.
And so right here we see i.MX 95 and i.MX 8M Plus.
Yes,
those are the two?
These are the two first products that we present in this standard. So i.MX 95 is the next generation from NXP when it comes to high performance 6-core processing with graphics acceleration, 10 gigabit Ethernet connectivity in addition to two 1 gigabit Ethernet ports. Yeah, it's great for machine vision, and it also has advanced security features. And yeah, these are in FPSC with an ultra flat 3 millimeter height. So it's also for spatial requirements. It's optimized.
New launch of the show, right? And you're one of the first to implement i.MX 95.
Well, yeah, we are one of the first to support i.MX 95 since we're part of the early access program as a platinum partner of NXP. We got our hands on prior to the announcement of the i.MX 95, and we were already able to prepare with our system on module design so that we can present our product together with the product launch from NXP.
Did you have a lot of customers asking for this solution?
Yeah,
like
so lots of interest, especially for customers who are into AI, robotics, visual inspection, in industrial environments. That's where this processor really has its values.
Is it possible to desolder something and put another one if there's a problem, or
yeah,
if you want to upgrade or something?
That's a great question. Yeah, we actually have been developing a mechanism to desolder a system on module. Sometimes the system on modules, they have great value, so, or the carrier board has great value and you want to save it. And so therefore we have a mechanism to pull off the system on module under ASA reflow system, so that it just pulls off and then you can put on another module or replace the carrier board in case it's broken.
Is it kind of melting something to get it out?
So it's a pull mechanism that creates a pulling strength to the module, and as soon as the solder connection starts becoming liquidous, the pulling mechanism, there's a spring, will then pull off the system on module in a straight way so that you don't have any ripping off pins or anything like that.
All right. And here at the Embedded World 2024, you have a lot of other demos, right?
Oh yeah, we're showing a lot of cool stuff. So here are the new products, like I just mentioned, the FPSC Future-Proof Solder Core standard. We have the i.MX 95, the i.MX 93 and 91, the i.MX 8M Plus, Mini, and 6UL. All system on modules, partially to solder on, some also with connectorized versions. Of course, always on a very small form factor. And to go along with these system on modules, we have our single board computers. So these are ready to use in series applications. They are pre-certified when it comes to EMC ruggedized with industrial components and industrial temperature range. And around the corner, we also have another pin-compatible family. This is kind of like our low-cost family. So you can see we scale the costs from very low costs up to mid cost, and the performance and the features scale accordingly. So we start off with 1,720 DMIPS up to scaling up to 2 times 2 cores with 4,500 DMIPS and some additional features. So for example, with the i.MX 6UL, you start off with the 900 megahertz processor, which already has lots of cool features. And you can scale up to i.MX 9.3, for example, that has, for example, an NPU with 2.3 TOPS and an additional Cortex M3 inside. So the cool thing is, it's all pin compatible. You can, if you choose the signals as we've foreseen them in your design, then you can interchange these modules as you like. You can scale in performance, start off with low performance and low pricing, and if your product is successful, for example, you can just add additional features, make your product even better using a higher performance processor and additional features like the NPU and things like that.
How does it work, this connector there?
It's a solder-on connector, so it's quite easy to solder. You could actually use a soldering iron to solder it onto the carrier board, but of course it's thought to be used in an S&T production where the machine just picks it up, there's solder on the carrier board, and you just place it onto the carrier board, and then it's being connected.
Yeah, need to put the right chip on the right place.
Exactly.
And a bunch more stuff here. There was a TI.
Yeah, this is high-end product, AM68. It has a lot of performance in terms of computing power with the dual-core Cortex A72, and has lots of internal IPs for visual data inspection, and has 2 camera interfaces which enable you to even connect up to 8 cameras by multiplexing the camera pictures, 4 per channel. It has an internal ISP to actually pre-process the camera data. So for example, if you have lens distortion, you can correct that. For example, if you have a fisheye lens, you can correct the picture through that. You can do white balancing, everything like that, without any CPU performance loss, because everything is being done within the ISP. And in addition, it also has an MMA unit for doing matrix multiplication operations, which you need for AI functionalities. So if you have an AI model, there's a lot of matrix multiplication operations required, and this unit can do all these calculations combined together with the internal DSP that can then process the AI models that you've prepared for this product or for your product. It also has multiple display interfaces, so if you need HMI functionality, you will have that, LVDS, DSI, and also HDMI interface. It has multiple industrial standard interfaces for industrial control, like CAN, GPIOs, I2C, all the typical interfaces that you need in an industrial environment are available. So it's a cool thing to use when you have autonomously moving robots and things like that. So we have a demo around the corner that shows how a robot can interact with you by just visually analyzing what you're doing. So here we have a human pose estimation model running on the AM68, and this model actually identifies the body links of a person, and as you can see, the green arrows are actually my body links that are being analyzed. And if you look underneath the screen, then you will see the robot arm, and this robot arm is then controlled by my arm movement. So if I move the arm up, the robot will also move up, and if I move my arm down, the robot will move down. So we can actually move objects by virtually moving your body and the robot imitating my movement.
That's the future of factories, right?
Maybe, yeah. So I don't know. If you
control.
have a robot that's really strong, and you will just stand somewhere and move your body accordingly, and the robot will do the heavy lifting for you. That could be an idea. Yeah.
Nice. Lift up the Tesla.
For example.
Yeah. All right.
If you want to lift
cool.
a Tesla.
So it's very powerful. A lot of demand in the market for this new system.
Yeah. So all the new applications that companies come up with using AI, those are perfect with this processor. You have a high computing power, and you have a good computing power ratio to price. And so you can do cool edge AI operations with this product at the edge.
And there were some more TI solutions over there, right?
Yeah.
Those are the smaller ones?
Yeah. So in addition to the high performance version, AM68, we additionally have the AM62, which is a very good general purpose processor with lots of features. It also has graphics acceleration. It has a Cortex M4 for real-time operations internal, in addition to the Cortex A53 quad-core, up to quad-core with 1.4 gigahertz. We have 2 displays. We have GPU support with 8 gigaflops, and we also have a camera interface. So this is a very nice general purpose, high performance processor, well, mid-performance processor from our perspective. And then we additionally have the AM64 right here, up with a dual core Cortex A53. This is very specialized in industrial communication. It has the capabilities with 4 PRUs to do industrial interfacing, for example, TSN, Ethercat, Profinet. Those are all stacks that will run on this device. Up to 4 Ethernet interfaces are possible with this processor. So this is really industrial communication specialized.
The full TI portfolio.
Right.
And then you have ST over here.
Yes, we have the STM MP15 with the dual core Cortex A7, 3D graphics acceleration, also really good price to performance ratio. It can be populated with eMMC or NAND flash. We have a dual footprint there, 2 CAN interfaces, so very well suited for lots of industrial applications. And in addition to that, we have the STM MP13, which is a low-cost Linux operation system. From my point of view, it's the lowest cost Linux embedded processor that you can currently purchase. The advantages are that you have a real Linux operating system with all the advantages and features of a Linux operating system. It's mainline-based BSP release. Enables you to do continuous updates, especially when you're required to keep your system secure. It's a good thing to always have an up-to-date Linux operating system that you can replace and then fix vulnerabilities that might occur on older versions of your operating system.
Would you say low cost? How low cost are we talking? You can say something?
I would have to check.
I would need to check, but it's one of the lowest cost in the whole world.
Yeah.
For getting a full Linux.
Yeah.
For Linux.
Exactly. So it's the lowest cost Linux product that we can offer right now, and yeah.
Do you work with a company like Foundries.io or something to keep everything updated? What's your strategy for keeping everything updated forever?
So we have 2 solutions for software updates. One solution is an open source solution with every BSP board support package, Linux, Yocto based. We provide Rauk as an update client, which is pre-installed, and this client takes care of the update process when it's connected to an external update server, and it will pull the update image, the bundle as we call it. This bundle can be pre-signed, so not every bundle can be installed, only the ones that are created by the owner of the product. And if the bundle passes the check, then the system, the Rauk update client will update the system on an additional partition, in addition to the running partition. And therefore it's a safe update, so you have a fallback partition in case the new version of the operating system causes any kind of problem. Then you can just switch back to the old version and take care of the problem and then fix it and do your update again. So, all right. And then in addition to the open source based solution with our Hawkbit server to go with it, we also have partners like Foundries.io and Mender that we support, and we can then even offer a hosted solution if you don't want to host your update system yourself.
All right. And what more you want to show here at the booth?
What do we have? So we also have our OEM products. These are ready-to-use products. They are mainly for.
It's on the slider there.
Yeah, it's a DIN rail.
All right.
So these are all standard products ready to use. There are gateways using our system on modules inside, and they enable you to do industrial communication on DIN rail mounted packages, but not only industrial communication, but also industrial control using IOs to control the outside world of these devices. They're all Linux based. Of course, ready-to-use products need to have up-to-date distribution, so we continuously provide software updates to go with this product, and our customers can then install their application on top of this ready-to-use product, and underneath is a continuously maintained Linux operating system.
And here behind it's busy, but I see that they're talking about EV.
Yeah, this is actually EV charging station that we've done with a customer, and we have.
You have what? Sorry.
Yeah. So
we can perhaps go back to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What did you say? Sorry.
So we have a EV charging station here. We developed it with a company called Quello, and we are actually providing multiple base platforms for EV charging stations. This, for example, is a ready-to-use EV charging station. I think it's even dual port, and it brings all the features, even display and communication, and also the control of the charging current. And yeah, so it's ready to go, but we can modify it according to customer requirements. But it brings everything that is needed, even the protocols and the safety mechanisms on an extra safety chip to make sure that the charging process is always safe and according to regulations.
You need it to be safe and reliable, right? You don't want to get some current problems or some issue, you plug it in, doesn't work, people hate that.
Yeah, and therefore we have a special real-time microprocessor with a special firmware that makes sure that all the safety relevant functions are controlled, and this processor and the software running on it is pre-certified and can be used in any project.
Nice. So what else do you want to show at the booth?
So what else do we have?
We have something over there, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of software stuff too.
And it's been a busy embedded world?
Oh yeah, we've had lots of interesting customers approaching us with cool projects, and we've been doing a lot of talking. So this is the last day, and so it's been a busy time, and we had great fun. and hopefully also great projects that will continue with us.
Embedded World, very important show for the embedded world, for the embedded
this is
industry.
one of the biggest, most important trade shows in Germany for our market, and everybody comes together from this area, supporting the customers with our products.
And there we see some update system, software lifecycle. What do we see?
Yes, this is our standard offering for ensuring that our customers can secure their embedded products. So, for example, the CRA regulations are now coming up, which require you to ensure that your product is secure and stays secure in the future. So what we
have...
It's
like an EU law?
Yeah, it's a EU regulation. It just becomes active now. It's been finished now and now becomes active. And so there's going to be harmonized standards being developed based on these regulations within the next 2 years. So in 2 years, this will be fully active. And we already have our offerings that will supply the customer with all the tooling and things that are required to fulfill the requirements of these regulations. So for example, we have software lifecycle management that ensures that we always have an up-to-date operating system for the customer. We have CVE monitoring that monitors for vulnerabilities within the operating system. We have device initialization that in our production we have a secure area where we can insert the required keys that are needed for secure connections, and also activate secure mechanisms like secure boot and encryption. Then in addition to that, we also have the update and device management mechanisms to, if you have a vulnerability and you want to use your up-to-date operating system to update the systems in the field, you can use the update mechanism to install that software. And of course we have our secure distribution, Phinox distribution that supports all the security features through easy-to-use scripts of the processor. So every vendor of a processor, they all do different mechanisms, they all have different software mechanisms to activate secure boot and encryption, and we harmonize those functionalities into easy-to-use and configure scripts if you want to do it yourself. But we can also offer to do it for you, it's no problem, and configure your operating system so that it's secure. And the consulting from our side, helping you to figure out what you need in a technical perspective to fulfill the requirements of your product in terms of security.
Nice.
And here we can show the update mechanisms with an A/B system. So when our RAUC client, which is an open source update client running on all of our operating systems and are being continuously maintained throughout all Linux updates. If this system will help you to update your software using the A/B partitioning, so if in case one update fails, you can always jump back to the old version, having a second partition which holds this older version of your operating system. Then you can fix the problem and then go back and redo the update.
Nice. And then you have the last part here. Is that the last part of the booth?
Yes.
What's happening on this side?
Yeah, here we show a collection of supported frameworks for GUI development. So, for example, we can provide Kiwi. If I press this button, the demo will switch to a Kiwi demo. You can see there's multiple functions, and yeah, this is actually running on i.MX 8M Plus, and we can switch to LVGL, for example, which is also a GUI framework, and Embedded Wizard, which are really good for multiple embedded processors, even with processors that do not have graphics acceleration. You can do really cool, good-looking GUIs with this without even without graphic acceleration, and still have a fluent kind of look and feel. This is Slint based. You can see it's also very fluent. And then in addition, we have Qt, and all these frameworks are already prepared in our operating system. So whichever flavor our customers like, we can support them with and have already everything prepared and supported. Even acceleration units within the processors support these frameworks, so that you will always have a cool, fluent demo, cool, fluent application.
How popular is Flutter in the embedded market?
So yeah, Flutter is also one of the big frameworks that are approaching right now. I think it's quite interesting as a new technology. And then here we're showing our mainline BSP. You can see all the features. This is for i.MX 8M Plus on our Fribourg Pollux. And we are just showing that we support a whole lot of features coming from mainline with our board. And this makes it easy for us to continuously maintain the operating system and make it available for continuous updates when it comes to requirements to keep your system secure and make sure that there's no vulnerabilities on the device. It's always a good thing to have nightly builds and be able to update the system and keep it secure. And in addition here, based on ARM System Ready, we have also implemented Red Hat onto our device. So this is actually a full Red Hat installation running on our device with not many modifications. So it's quite easy. If your product is system ready, pre-certified, as our products are, then it's quite easy to install other distributions. And if you prefer a ready-to-use distribution over Yocto, for example, then this is also possible.
Linux on ARM is awesome, right?
Right, of course, it's the best. Because you have all possibilities. You can modify it as you like. You have strategies for maintaining complex products like our embedded devices are. Embedded is individual, right? So that's why we're doing this. If we want standard, we can go with x68, but if we want individual, then we go for embedded, and Linux copes with all the requirements for flexibility and capabilities to edit things and make them according to your requirements. And so that's why we think Linux is the best way to go. And yeah, so our customers, they also like to use Linux, and that's the best proof.